let me tell you a little bit of Primog. Primog is a civil society organization working to promote good governance, participation, and accountability in Nigeria. This town hall meeting on citizen-led constituency project tracking has the support of the MacArthur Foundation. Today's program seeks to address the gaps between the legislator who sponsor the constituency project and the members of the host community in a bid to promote accountability and sustainability of the project. In the last 48 hours, Primog's team has been tracking constituency projects in the Kaba, Bunu areas of the state. And I also include Ijumu on that list. And in the course of the tracking, the constituency project, the team had on the spot assessment of different projects cited in the communities visited. The tour of the project sites also provided Primog's tracking team the opportunity to interact with the people who are direct beneficiaries of these programs or projects, I mean to say. We commend Honorable Tajuddin Yusuf and his team for assisting and guiding us as we toured the constituency project sites. The focus of today's program is to ensure that the people of Kababunu and Ijumu Federal Constituency reap the maximum benefit of the humongous amount of money allocated for constituency projects yearly, and also to remind the citizens that they have a massive role to play from the conception of constituency project to the completion, as well as in making sure that the projects are sustained. Honorable Yusuf Tajuddin, who nominated most of the constituency projects we tracked, is joining us today. And I'm also glad to tell you that we have representative of the ICPC, that is the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, with us in the studio. We also have a member of civil society organization based here in Lokoja. For you listening to us, please remember that you are an important part of this meeting. You will have the opportunity to contribute via the phone shortly. You can also watch us live on Facebook at Official Primog. And Primog is spelled Primorg. I take it again. The spelling of Primog is Primorg. We will give you phone numbers to reach us in the course of the deliberation. But let me ask us this. Do you know that constituency project belongs to you? As a citizen, how much do you know about constituency project in your community? And do you also know that it is your responsibility to protect constituency projects cited in your community? You can begin to send your views to 090-2265-6167, and that is 090-2265-6167. Now let's listen to the opinion of some citizens on their understanding of constituency projects. We will be right back to interact with our guests.
Voices against corruption. Let the people speak.
Hello and welcome to Primog's public feedback series on corruption called Voices Against Corruption. And we ask, do you think corruption is responsible for the poor execution of many constituency projects in Nigeria?
I have never seen anybody, any lawmaker, a senator or a House of Rep member that has come out publicly to say, okay, I have executed 80% project in my constituency. Rather, what we see on media every day is people giving people donkey, people giving people rope to tie their goats. And these are not the type of constituency projects we are talking about. These are not the type of constituency projects we carry out and we're proud of. So corruption is highly responsible for why these things are not being carried out in various constituencies.
They will start a project. Before they will leave, they will not finish the project. The new ones will come. For them to start with that very old project, they will abandon it and start a fresh one, and them too will not finish it. That is how the corruption is eating this country.
Road projects, which we have here, I think it has been like that for some years now, and it's yet to be completed. So it is corruption. And what made it to be so is that there is no monitoring. If a project is given out, there should be a monitoring so that those who are executing it will be able to finish the project given to them. just because there is no monitoring. And that is why corruption is thriving.
Funds are being released to a particular project, to a particular purpose, and is not getting down. It's not getting down to the roots of what the money are being meant for. So that is the area of where corruption come in.
Corruption is responsible for the execution of a constituency project, and I think it's not just the problem in the government. I think it's more of the problem of the citizens. The citizens don't even ask questions. They don't even want to know what is happening to their money. They don't even want to know the problem, where the problem is coming from. Everybody just feel relaxed. So long as you can eat a day, you just feel it's normal. But it is our duty, responsible, corporate duty, to actually ask for what is happening.
The senators, local government, what do you call them, the House of Rep members who are involved in this Constituency project, they rather will take this money for their own selves, not doing what the budget is reviewed. Sometimes even when the project is kickstart, most of those projects are abandoned. And so to a great extent, you don't have the bidding. You don't really have it. You see some constituency projects for years that have never been completed, and nobody is asking questions. That is corruption in itself.
Who is evaluating these projects? Who is assessing them? Who is making sure that they are being executed? You understand? Senators will just give you money. Those of them that are evaluating or assessing the level of implementation, they don't go there. They don't check. Government, they are not checking each other because they are all corrupt. The three arms of government, nothing like checks and balance again.
Corruption is a major factor affecting our national development. If people are corrupt and then money is released to execute a project, they will not execute the project 100%. They will siphon some of the money into their pockets. So that's corruption.
If the Senate, the House of Rep, are working for we as they believe that they are standing there for us, I think that we cannot have any problem in Nigeria. But due to the selfish and corruption that we have, they only gather the money when election is coming nearby. They buy small bike and some grinding machines, deceiving people that they have did something for their constituency. But why not? They are doing nothing. We don't have something like constituency project in Nigeria because now it's a pocket. Constituency work for their pocket.
The budget of the National Assembly make provisions for the execution of constituency projects. But many a times, those projects are not executed. Even where they are executed, you discover that only a fraction of the money is spent for the project. And as such, the money goes into the individual pockets.
We don't see anything that is happening in terms of infrastructure development. Corruption is so high.
Year in, year out, there is budget for everything in Nigeria. But at the end of the day, we will not see anything. Even in the community, there is nothing is working. If you watch so many communities, it's all those NGOs that sink wells. Not even the House of Rep or senators that come from that constituency that did all those things. If you watch very well. So all boil down to corruption.
Primark's public feedback on corruption in Nigeria is produced with support from MacArthur Foundation.
Welcome back to the program. You are listening to a town hall meeting on constituency project tracking in Kababunu, Ijumu Federal Constituency, Kogi State. If you are just tuned in, you are right on time as the deliberations are about to begin. The Zonal Intervention Project, ZIP, otherwise called constituency projects, were introduced in 1999 during the President Olusegun Obasanjo-led administration. It is widely believed that development would have eluded more rural communities in Nigeria if the initiative of the constituency project did not come to light in Nigeria. It is also instructive to note that maximizing full potential of the resources provided by the federal government for constituency project execution has been a perennial challenge. Sadly, today we still hear about abandoned, uncompleted, or poorly implemented constituency projects. At Primark, we are anxious to see that our communities reap maximum benefit of the constituency projects. And we warmly welcome our special guests to the program, especially Honorable Tajuddin Yusuf, who is represented by Mr. Richard Otitokleke. Many thanks for joining us. Mr. Richard is the special advisor for media to Honorable Tajuddin Yusuf.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let's start this conversation with you, and we are glad that you could make our time to represent the honorable member.
Thank you.
All right, walk us through the process of conceptualizing or initiating a constituency project. What are those factors that determine the type of project a community gets?
First of all, the people of Kababunu Jumu Federal Constituency, who are being represented by the distinguished Honorable Tajuddin Yusuf, who is, by the grace of God, the incoming senator for Kogi West under the platform of the People Democratic Party. Answering your question on those factors that determines those projects that are cited. First of all, there are needs assessment, and based on interaction of legislators with their constituents, especially it has to do with someone like Honorable Tajuddin Yusuf, whose project I think you have taken your time to go. I'm not sure you can go through all of them, even if you are given 1 week to go through them. And he's someone that is very accessible, readily available. His phone number has never been changed from the time he gained that seat in the year 2011 down to, it's getting to about 12 years now. He has not changed his phone number. So he's always there to interact with people. And those projects, they are executed or nominated based on the pressing needs of the host communities. And this pressing need, they are get from the interaction, from the various interaction, physical interaction by the representative of the people.
How does he do this? Because I understand that he doesn't live in the community. He also have to do his job in Abuja and come back. So how often does this interaction hold?
Before anyone assumes office as a legislator, we usually say in politics that politics is local. You can't sit down in Abuja and not interact with your people and expect to gain the attention of the people or to gain their mandate. For the person like Honorable T.J. Yusuf, who has been given the opportunity to represent the good people of Kababunu Jumu Federal Constituency for the first time, the second time, and this is the third time. And we are saying that it's an indication to say, okay, when a behavior enjoys a certain outcome, it has a tendency to reoccur. That is, he has been interacting with the people. T.J. Yusuf will not spend 2 weeks without coming to his constituency.
Okay, let's stay with that, but move a little closer to needs assessment, because you mentioned it yourself earlier that you always do your needs assessment before going into a project, because history has it that some constituency projects fail to serve their purpose simply because of needs assessment. So what is the level of citizens' involvement in the needs assessment? Because actually the honorable member can actually see that a community needs water and go ahead and say, let me just use my discretion. So how do you involve them? Is it through town hall meeting? Is it one-on-one? Or do you have places where they write letters or complaints for you?
No, there are ways of going about it, not necessarily writing letters. What is often done, especially on the part of Honorable Tajuddin Yusuf, representing the good people of Kababunu Jumu Federal Constituency, there is no word, political word, that has not been visited by T.J. Yusuf at every quarter. So members of the political parties in those various communities and wards, they present their needs based on the priority. Some need water, some need transformers, some need people to facilitate job for them. And let me tell you with all sense of emphasis that the most important project that T.J. Yusuf has in his program is that of human capital project. Apart from the various constructions that are going on, apart from the transformers that have been distributed across all the wards in the Kababunu Jumu Federal Constituency. Apart from all the road construction, we talk of the Kaba Township City Hall that is ongoing now. The same thing is happening in Yamuye, in Ijumu. We're talking of the newly constructed blocks of classroom in St. Joseph Primary School in Kaba. We talk of blocks of classroom that just be completed in Aduge in Ijumu community. We talk of the palm oil processing plants in Ayetoro, which is about to be completed right now. Those projects, they are based on the priorities which have been identified by the legislator himself, Honorable Tajuddin Yusuf, as well as the various directions which I told you earlier have transpired between him and members of those community, not at the local government level. We mean at the ward and unit level.
All right, it's a very good place to, pause and also start thinking of, yes, you brought in a project, you initiated or you sponsored a project. Another thing should be, how do we sustain? But I'll come back with that question to you. Let me bring in the representative of ICPC here with us, Nathaniel Diton CP. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. So ICPC has been tracking the execution of constituency projects for a long time now. How do you think your work over the years has impacted the people of the state?
Okay, thank you very much. And before I go directly to answering that question, let me just use 1 or 2 minutes to lay a foundation regarding this constituency and executive project tracking initiative. This initiative came on board in 2019 when this current board of ICPC was inaugurated by President Muhammadu Buhari. And there were a lot of complaints about constituency projects not being executed. So a steering committee was set up by the commission, by ICPC. It is an initiative of ICPC, but the steering committee is made up of the ICPC on one hand, the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors, the Budget Office of the Federation, Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, Office of the Auditor General of the Federation, Premium Time Center for Investigative Journalism, then International Center for Investigative Reporting, the Public and Private Development Center, and the Bureau for Public Procurement and Budget. All these offices and agencies I mentioned are part of the steering committee. And what they do, they collect data from the budget office. And from time to time, they sit down to select projects to be tracked. And those projects being selected for tracking are picked at random. When this was done, the first phase of tracking took place in 2019. And during that phase, there were a lot of issues. The commission identified that projects on paper have been completed. They were awarded, paid for, completed. You see job completion certificates on the project files, but you cannot see them on ground.
Okay.
So that was there were a lot of issues like that. That was the first phase. The second phase was in 2020, the phase 2 of the tracking exercise. Similar issues came up. There were a lot of projects, especially diversion of projects, where on paper a project is supposed to be executed in a particular area, but you discover that you get to that place and there was nothing like that.
And it's diverted
Further
to
questions were asked. You see that they were diverted to, sometimes converted to personal use and all the rest. So now, currently from Monday next week, being 7th November 2022, we are going to commence the phase 5 of the constituency and executive project tracking exercise.
So where do you think we are on the progress? Because let's stick to when the steering committee was established, set up, until this day. Are we making progress with it?
Comparing the first phase of tracking through the 4th phase of tracking, a lot of progress has been made. Like I said earlier, in the first and second phases, there were a lot of reports where projects were completed on paper, but on ground, they couldn't be found. But
from the third phase, you now discover that the idea of just collecting money and running away with the money has reduced. From our tracking experience, almost all the projects that were selected and we visited, we could actually see them on ground. But another thing, the level of implementation now became a problem. Remember I said initially some could not be found. But right now, because of the involvement, the coming into tracking by ICPC and the work ICPC is doing, you could always see that every project that was selected for tracking, they were actually done.
Is that not should that be a coincidence, or don't you think it's not okay that every project selected was actually being done? Because let me take you back to the last tracking exercise of 2021.
Yeah.
We still found out that yes, that we have some projects that we are said to have been, diverted, abandoned. I mean, ICPC released a statement giving us detailed report on their tracking exercise. So it is not all uhuru. It is not, everything is not okay. So what extra are you putting in as a commission to curb those incidents of corrupt
I actually
acts?
gave you a comparative analysis between the first and second phase of tracking and the current phase where we are. I said the first two phases, there were a lot of issues about as to whether those projects were executed. But right now, those issues have reduced drastically. We can actually see projects on ground. But remember I said the level of implementation is the problem right now. Whether they were executed to 100%, whether they were executed satisfactorily is now the issue. But whether those projects can be found to be done, the numbers compared to the first and second phases have really reduced because of ICPC's involvement in tracking those projects.
I'm glad that something is being done, and from your own measurement, you believe that ICPC is on the right track. You are doing exceptionally well.
Is on the right track because if you now see the the phase 4 of the tracking results, and if you compare it to the first and I'm always hammering on the first and second phases, and remember the first and second phase, the first phase especially took looked at projects from 2015 because this tracking initiative started in 2019, so this decided to start with this current administration so that it will not appear as if it is a witch hunt on the past administration. So they picked contracts from 2015. So in comparative terms, the work ICPC is doing has changed the narrative as to whether projects have been executed. But there is always an issue of the level of implementation,
which is dependent on government providing the money.
The government is actually providing the money. But the problem is the implementation on ground. Because now, remember I said in the steering committee, we have the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors. We as officers of ICPC, we don't have the professional knowledge to take care of the measurement.
To make sure that maybe a project is as solid as it should be, right?
Yes.
The quality of service delivery.
Yes. Therefore, every tracking team that is going to the field, there is a quantity surveyor attached to the team. So the quantity surveyor's responsibility is evaluation of the project. So when those reports are turned in by the quantity surveyors, we still discover that there are some issues with the implementation.
So, but what is on ground to see that this issue is taken care of?
Right now, like when we receive the reports from the surveyor, we as trackers we also write our reports and send to our headquarters, and our recommendations have been attended to. Like for example, the quantity surveyor will now make valuation, and after the valuation, if there is any difference as to what the contractor was supposed to put on ground and what he actually did,
we recommend for recovery of such funds, and a lot of monies have been recovered.
Recovered.
Yes.
It's good. But do you have the figures of what was recovered at least the last time?
I actually wouldn't be able to give you the figures offhand, but if you have the time to just log into the ICPC official website, which is www.icpc.gov.ng, you will see the infographics of the total amounts recovered on every phase of the tracking. Those details are there. If I try to pull out figures, I might make mistake.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about prosecution? Is there anything done about that?
Yeah. For example, if a contractor collected all the monies for a project and he did not do anything, now we recommend either to recover the money and or to prosecute. It could be the two.
Okay.
It could be the two. So when we as trackers make a recommendation to the headquarters, the final decision is always taken at that level.
Okay.
Sometimes they will uphold the recommendation for prosecution and also to recover the funds, or sometimes to recover the funds.
Okay. Something is being done. That is where what we want to hear, that something is being done to curb this idea of investing so much in constituency project and not getting anything out of it. Let me bring in Favor Bala. She's a woman leader in Lokogoma community in Lokoja. Favor, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So Favor, let's understand you are running you belong to a youth group that you people also go out there to monitor projects and do a whole lot of things out there. Tell us what you've been doing and how close is your organization to communities?
I'm the woman leader of Lokongoma Youth, Lokongoma Association. What we are having there is that whenever they bring some things, they will sideline us because of our elders. Like Honorable Shaba brought school, but he didn't complete. He completed it, but at the side, they eat the money. But when we say, they will say, "We should not worry. We should not worry."
How did you know that they eat the money?
Because of the complainants. When we go there, they will complain that they brought the money and will not see the money.
Okay.
And we have borehole that is not working.
Okay.
In Lokongoma.
When the borehole was constructed for you people, it was handed over to the community, right?
Yes.
Did you people do any have any form of organization to say this borehole, we will maintain it? How are you people maintaining that borehole before it got bad?
We'll put somebody there and the person is taking care of the borehole. When the borehole is spoiled, we'll report they didn't even do it for us.
Okay. It's quite unfortunate, but I know very well that when some communities we visited, right there in Kababunu, the community, they come together to contribute little token so that when their borehole is bad, is a motorized borehole, they will find a way to fix it. And I think that is what your community should be doing.
Okay, sir.
So let me now ask you, for other projects on ground, what do you do in a bid to protect it? Like when you have school buildings, if you don't protect it, people will go out there and vandalize the property there. What are you doing as youth group to also make sure that your peers be of good behavior and protect constituency projects?
Like our primary school there, we used to go time to time to check and ask the principal what is the problem, and we say nothing and we'll go. Like our borehole, put one old man there, we'll be checking after the borehole every day by day. I will give the man a little money a month.
Okay, that's what you do.
Yes.
All right, at this point, we also want to open up the phone lines while we interact with our special guests in the studio. Okay, we have a caller already. All right, let's hear you in 1 minute.
My greeting goes to the guests in the house and you, the anchor of the program. I think you are speaking with the ICPC person in Kogi State, right?
Yes.
Okay, so how can a person be able to reach there? If maybe, for instance, the project is going on in your community and the quality of materials they were using is not up to the standard. And maybe when you approach them, you tell them, they will tell you that nothing is your own concern. How could person reach out to this ICPC?
Okay, you hear from him. Just drop. He will respond to your what you want to find out.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah, as we wait for other calls, maybe Mr. CB will just go ahead and respond to that now. Okay, take them down. I think we have another call. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Hello. I'm coming from Filele. My name is Baba Mondes.
Okay, let's hear you in 1 minute.
Isiba, the thing where I want to contribute is say the federal government and state government, local government, there is no honesty. Why I'm saying this, practically what the people staying in the house, they are doing. This constituency money you are talking about, give it to them. Who is monitoring it? They use this money to do their own private things, that is producing filling station, plaza, hotels for their own benefit. They are not even helping the poor masses. The people, although nowadays, I can say, not the vote carry them there. They go there on their own this is. So what I'm talking about now, the masses are suffering. Now it is now all of us to open our eye to do something better. That's what I want to say. Thank you.
That's your opinion, but
yes.
Okay. Mr. CB, you have to give out the number, the ICPC number. I'll give you a chance to respond. But so that the man was asking, how can they report to you when a project is wrongly done or shabbily done? So they need to contact. Who do we contact? How do we contact? Let's take another call. Yes, just hold on.
All right.
Just hold on. Let's take this call. Hello? Oh, we lost that. Please do well to call us back. But Mr. CB, you can go on.
All right. Thank you for that question. In order to get in touch with ICPC Kogi State, our office is, or would I say, was located in GRA, directly opposite late Aldo's house. However, our permanent site, the permanent office is ready and we are moving out. So if you want to get in touch with us, you can visit the 500 unit housing estate along Ganaja Road. Just by the gate of the 500 unit, you will see a new building.
Any numbers to call?
Very big. You can visit. Then you can call my office. You can get in touch with my commissioner. His phone number is always online, 080-331-33367. I take it again, 080-331-33367.
Are they toll-free lines?
This particular one is a personal number, but I'll also give out the toll-free lines.
Okay.
So the toll-free lines are for the headquarters.
Okay. Let's pick this call and we'll come back.
Hello.
Hello, your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Lawal. I'm calling from Zenith.
All right, Lawal, let's hear you in 1 minute.
Okay, I want to talk about TJ. We, his constituents, are really not happy with what he's doing. Most of the work he does is just white elephant projects. Our people have been complaining for years, and nothing has been done about it. As a representative of the people, there are many things you can do to help alleviate the sufferings of our people, but it's not doing anything in that regard.
Are you from that constituency?
Yes, I'm from the constituency.
So can you give us, help us understand at least one or two projects that you are not okay with?
No, I'm not talking of infrastructural project. If it's infrastructural project, they say build a block of classroom. Some are not even a constituency project. They are attracted project, maybe from the presidency or from ministry, certain ministry. So those ones are not even a constituency project. Even if you talk about constituency project, I saw a man in Jos yesterday that built a hospital, clinic with 13 beds, and they are using it. So how can a rep member not help people? We're talking of jobs. We see reps members helping people to get jobs.
Okay.
They love it.
I think you.
He does not. When you submit,
can you hear me?
He won't answer. Yes.
I think you need a little more clarification on the responsibilities of an honorable member. But I will allow the ICPC man here to respond to you on that, so that we don't take them into what is not their job. But thank you for calling our line this morning. Okay, let me allow, you want to respond? Hello?
Hello, my name is MacArthur. I'm calling from Mufu local government, areas of Ejule.
All right, let's hear you in 1 minute.
Yeah, so these about a project in one place to another. That in the basic problem the problems of this road in 500 was never done anymore since how many years ago. And even the majority road from this our own Lukongi state towards coming to that Lokoja side was never even to be done, talk less of the inside. So please, this problem, let the governor and the other government to be rectify this problem very easily so that we people will be saving their life. Understand? Please, this will help us to be putting hand on it. This road is very, very, very important, and the water issue.
Okay. All right, let me...
thank you.
Thank you for calling. Thank you for your contribution. Let's get back to... Let me start from you. Okay. No worries. Let's leave the call for now. I will come back to the call.
Okay.
Please, Mr. Sipi, let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you. And the caller, the person that called before this last caller, made mention of constituency projects and funded by the federal government. I think he mixed certain things up. You know, the constituency projects are actually projects funded by the federal government. Every single constituency project, the money that is being used to execute them are from the federal government, not from the senator or from the House of Reps member. So if the representative or the senator is doing anything from his own pockets to maybe to whatever that he may decide to do from his own pocket for his community or for his local government, it is not a constituency project, and we have nothing to do with it. We don't track such, because it is more like his personal donation to the community.
Now, Mr. Sipi, you've seen that there's a knowledge gap, there's an information gap, that people don't even know the responsibility of their lawmakers and who is bringing constituency projects to them. What are you doing as a commission to also make sure that this information goes deep, as is saturated in Kogi communities, people know about it, you know, because it's very key.
Yeah. Okay, I agree with you that there is knowledge gap, which we have just seen here. And if you remember, the ICPC came up with a program sometime last year, tagged My Constituency, My Project. And the brain behind that program is to enlighten the constituents of what the federal government is doing for them. You know, during our tracking exercise, phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, the commission discovered that the constituents do not really know that those projects being executed by these representatives and senators are from the federal government. Because sometimes you get to the project site and it is labeled with the photograph of the House of Reps member or the senator. So, and everything they tell the constituents is that they are the ones giving such projects to their communities. However, that is not the case. The true picture is that every constituency project being executed by either a senator or by a House of Reps member are funded by the federal government.
At this point, I will bring in Mr. Richard to continue from where you stop. But let me tell my listener out there that if you have a complaint and you're also looking for how to pass this complaint, because we can actually reach the ICPC with your complaint, you can send a text message to our line 09022656167, and that is 09022656167. I will also say this again before we end the conversation today. I will read out this number again, but let's get to Mr. Richard to tell us to react to all that's been said. A lot of issues raised here.
Thank you once again. First of all, I'd like to commend the ICPC and this foundation for this initiative of project tracking, which hitherto has brought about increase in project execution and implementation across the federal constituency in Nigeria. Having said that, it is very, very important for, as a matter of education and enlightenment of the constituent, that projects are nominated by their representative in the National Assembly or in the State Assembly, as the case may be, based on the needs, that is the pressing need of that community at that particular point in time. However, these projects are nominated into the budget by the legislator. They are transmitted to agencies or federal parastatals whose mandate is to conduct or execute such projects.
Do you tell your constituents? Do you clarify this? Because there's a lot of pressure on the honorable on the lawmakers that they are the ones doing this project. Is there misconception?
Just like the young man that called, it's a self-explanatory mechanism. You get to a project that is ongoing. You see the signage, you see the sponsor agency, you see presidency, you see the honorable that facilitated funds that are meant for project. Let me say it for the purpose of enlightenment again and education, that funds are not domiciled in the account of any legislator. It is the agency of the federal government or the parastatal whose mandate covers that area, who receive the budget for that particular project, that receives the fund. No legislator. There is no legislator that receives fund. And let me say this, as far as Honorable TJ Yusuf is concerned, you see, there's this pressing need. It's across the society. The young man that just called, I feel is under pressure, and those are the pressing need of our country today. The high rates of unemployment in our society today, that is what makes many of these legislators to embark on what we call skill acquisition program. More than 1,000 members of Kababunu Jumu Federal Constituency have acquired various skills through Honorable Tajuddin Yusuf in fish farming, in ICT, in phone repairs, in what have you, that could make you to be self-independent and not necessarily to be waiting for white-collar jobs. You see, in our days today, we rely so much on job facilitation. And when you talk of job facilitation, it takes a man with high level of influence to facilitate job in this country, as we have to. If you have to be realistic to ourselves.
It's not their responsibility.
It's not their responsibility. And let me add it. For job facilitation, the last 11 years for Honorable Paul TJ Yusuf, we have counted nothing less than 200 people from federal to state level.
For want of time,
so it is very important.
We may not be able to go into that.
And let me make some clarification concerning the Lokogoma school issue.
Before you wrap up with it. So let me ask you my final questions here, so that you can put them together and give us your answers as we begin to wrap up this program. Because the major challenge is, you've seen that we have a challenge of implementing the constituency project. And what do you do about abandoned projects? Are your projects never abandoned? That's the question to you. And also, what would be your advice to the local Goma person and to your constituents?
Let me say this to be very fair to Honorable Shaba Ibrahim,
please, if you can put this in 1 minute.
To representing
just a minute.
Lokoja Koto.
Please.
This is the first time he's representing the good people of Lokoja Koto, right? And if there is a project that has not been completed, that doesn't mean it's not going to be completed. For Honorable Paul TJ Yusuf, what we have found in our people is that a man that have enjoyed 3-term mandates of the people won't have an abandoned project. Because of the consistency of that mandate, because he has always performed in office.
For those communities that has failed to sustain their projects, what do you do to them?
No, So they should be able to manage. It is their own project. They should take ownership of the project. They should protect it. They should maintain it, because no legislator will be there forever. Right. The project is for them by the federal government. So there's no legislator that will be there forever.
All right.
So they should own it and protect it and maintain it, to appoint people within the community that can serve as supervisor or coordinating people for such projects.
I have to hold it up there because of time. I will thank you so much for that perspective. They have to be responsible and do their own, while the honorable member does his own. Let me bring in Favor to give us her last take on this. What message will you take back to your people? Haven't heard all that has been said here. What will you be telling them on their responsibility with regards to constituency projects?
Thank you, sir. So what I understand is that I will tell them that the borehole, the school, they should take care of them so that they will not cause spoilage again.
All right. Good. Let me bring in Mr. Sipi to end this program for us. ICPC, you've been doing a whole lot. We've been over that for a long time now. What are other challenges faced by ICPC in tracking constituency projects, and what will be your final advice as we begin to wrap up?
A quick one. The challenges that we face right now in terms of tracking constituency projects is empowerment projects, because the empowerment projects are very difficult to track.
So you are not able to track them?
No, I said challenges.
Okay.
Because the way they are being done, the distribution of empowerment items, everything is being done months before we go for the tracking. So we, like from the last phase, we recommended to our head office that officers trackers should be assigned to those projects on the day of disbursement, so that we can actually check what was brought vis-a-vis the BOQ, and we can now come up with proper recommendations. And in last year, the director of operations actually approved that, and most of the times staff are assigned to track those projects at the time of disbursement.
Thank you so much for that you are doing. We want you to do more. Let's take this Facebook message and end it there. James Okoro Olo on Facebook said ICPC is in. Okay. He's just responding to the message here. Also, James Okoro is saying one of the mandates of ICPC is public enlightenment, education, and social mobilization. The town hall meeting we are holding here today is one of the many avenues through which the commission enlightens people. We have to leave it there, but I have to thank you so much, my special guest, for coming this morning. And we have come to the end of this special town hall meeting on the impact of constituency projects and the need for community ownership and the sustainability of constituency projects. Be rest assured that we will inform you in due time when next we are having town hall meetings. We appreciate Mr. Richard Otitoleke, who represented Honorable Tajuddin Yusuf, lawmaker representing Kaba, Bunu, Ijumu Federal Constituency at the National Assembly. We also thank CP Nathaniel Ditton, representative of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC.
Thank you very much.
Also, our sincere thanks goes to Favor Bala, a woman leader at Lokogoma Community. Also, let me read out our number again if you want to send any complaint that we can file to ICPC directly. You can call us on 09022656167, and that is 09022656167. If you have a message for us, please drop the message on those numbers that are the number I've mentioned. ICPC toll-free lines, you can call 0800 2255 24472, 0800 2255 4272. But you can send us a message and we'll share the toll-free line with you because of want of time. Please visit the news page of our website, primognews.org. That is primognews.org for all the details of our reports and interviews. Visit our website, www.primog.org, to get all the information about Primog. This radio town hall meeting on constituency project sustainability and community ownership has the support of the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation, committed to building a more just, verdant, and peaceful world. Get more information about the foundation at its website, macfound.org. Many thanks to the Primog team for their wonderful work. The executive producer of this town hall meeting is Ohiria Abonseremi. Don't forget that constituency projects are executed with the government's money, which is your money. So get involved, follow it up, and protect constituency projects from undue harm. I am Chidozie Obonnaya. Stay safe.